Hey, what's going on, everybody? I want to show you how you can use ChatGPT. This is really whether you're a faculty member or a student, right? So I'm going to put this over here. This is me using ChatGPT, but it's also how you can have an easier time solving a calculus problem, especially in this case, implicit differentiation. It's just an easier way to conceptualize. So what you see I have up there is I say, instead of giving you the dy dx notation in the example that I asked it to do, I said run it so that it shows me like y prime, x prime notation, which is just simpler and easy to see what's going on. Now, often we talk about in these equations we're differentiating in respect to x, right? But if the term has a y in it, we have to make note of that. And the way that we do it with dy dx notation sometimes is a little bit more cumbersome than it maybe needs to be, and I think just using y prime and x prime is an easier way to see that. So the reason I wanted to show this to faculty as well is to first understand that ChatGPT can do something like this for you, whether it's generating the examples or rewording the way you want your examples. It can also solve them for you, and it can also solve them for the students. So you may want to be thinking about what kind of questions we ask, and students, you want to think about what kind of things you're doing to demonstrate that you have conceptual understanding, because more and more your faculty are going to be asking you the kind of questions that demand that kind of understanding. So I'm going to use the pen in a second. Let me put it onto a white screen. That's a nice one, the little circles going on. Let's put it on the screen and see if I get the pen working nicely. Let's go here. Let's try it over here. X squared plus y squared equals 25. Now, if you've never done implicit differentiation before, and maybe I'm assuming you've done differentiation before because it comes first, you're probably used to doing this for, let's say, terms with an x in them, but what happens when there's a y? I want to go right to the kill here. We know the derivative of x squared would simply just be 2x, and we know that if y was an x, what would the derivative be? Well, it would be 2y. But it's not an x, and we're going to make note of that through this kind of notation right here. What's the derivative of 25? It's a constant, so we know that that's 0. And now all we want to do is we want to explicitly state it for y prime. That means we want y prime on the left. Everything else gets moved over to the x, and this is where the algebra skills come in. So first thing we want to do is get this negative 2x over to here. So we have negative 2x. I'm just going to cross that 0 out. And now I'm going to cross this guy out, and I'm looking at 2y y prime. You should remember that to get rid of everything else, the coefficients in this case, you're just dividing by that. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side, which now only has negative 2x on it. So I'm going to divide by 2y. Your 2's will cancel out, and that leaves me final answer here of negative x over y. So when you're writing that finally back, remember it's y prime equals negative x over y. I really think that simplifies the process. Writing the dy dx is going to be a nightmare for you. Faculty, I hope that you explain this to the students, and students, even if your faculty does not do that for you, I hope that you have more success doing them this way. Simply, the way you want to train your eyes is to say, differentiate normally every time I only see an x term, differentiate normally every time I see a y term, but make note of that with the y prime notation, okay? All the same rules, whether it's chain rules and so forth, will apply as well inside of the questions that you have, so they can get more and more complex, of course. You can do more examples of these, follow through on your textbook. I hope this kind of stuff helps you. And faculty, remember, students are using ChatGPT or any other AI, as they should, to try to help them conceptually figure out what the problem is, and not just regurgitate the information. Make sure we structure our test and quiz questions and regular assignments and homework in a way that ensures that as well. All right, thanks a lot. My name is Dr. Peter Michael Plourde, aka Professor Lyrical. I'll see you on the other side. Peace.